All right. So after I left Berkeley, I went down to Pasadena for the Caltech visitation weekend. So I get in a couple minutes before the whole group leaves for the restaurant. There was a welcome dinner that night. So I make my way down to where everyone is. We travel as a group to the restaurant. We wait for a little bit, and I just end up wandering not far, but away from the restaurant. I remember leaving the restaurant, walking past a small group of people that I didn't quite pay attention to. Turned back around, and then I noticed that there were four people, two of which I identified as prospectus because, well, I had seen them at other schools. One was Greg Fu. I met him when I was a summer student at MIT. And the other I didn't quite recognize. So I said hello to everyone, and then I said hello to the woman. And then in like a high pitched voice, I heard, "Hi, I'm Sarah." And in my mind, I'm going, "Oh fuck, that's reasoning." I didn't even recognize her. I thought she was a fucking grad student or postdoc. And I know some of you are wondering, like, okay, you're looking to join her research group. You've read through some of her papers. You've seen her profile. How did you not recognize her in real life? Well, I know this is stupid, but like her most prominent feature is her ears. At least that's the feature that I paid attention to. Like, she looks like something out of fucking Zelda. And when I didn't see those ears, I just didn't recognize her. So that was a really awkward moment that I kind of wish never happened, but it did, and it wasn't that bad. You know, Night continued on. We ate dinner, went back to the hotel room, and then got up the next day to be transported to Caltech. Had a quick orientation, and we were being showed around the facilities or whatever, and Reisman is showing the group around, and I remember her just talking like, "Oh, we got this, that, and the third." I'm like, "Oh, damn, that's cool." And she has had very aggressive body language towards me. I remember just me being showing some form of enthusiasm, and her going, "Shut up!" And at that time, there was this kid from UNC that worked for Jeff Johnson, who was again also a prospective. He was like, "I don't know what you did, but you better fucking apologize for it." Sadly, I couldn't apologize for it because nobody ever told me what I did. He was also at Scripps too, so he kind of, knows how people have been treating me. I've heard things though. Like, there was this one first year when I was a senior. Forgot his name. I can't remember it now. But he worked down the hall for me, and he told me that I sent a picture of my dick to Professor Christina White. Yeah, no. I wonder where that came from. Like, are these the grad students saying this, or is this Christina Wright herself? I mean, I've never met the woman, but according to a former white group member, she had many interesting things to say about me. And again, never actually met the woman, so the fact that she can say anything at all is astonishing. But, moving on, back to Caltech. Um, Time marches on, and we do our professor group meeting thing where a small group of students meet with the professors talking about research and yada yada yada. And I see Reisman's on my list, and I'm like, oh, I'm not looking forward to this. I already was just pretty much drained from the other group meetings. At that point in time, I can honestly say that I wasn't really interested in going to grad school anymore. But, I figured I would just stay tough, truck through it, and hopefully everything will turn out okay in the end, right? So I get to the group meeting with Friesman, And she has very aggressive body language towards me. And towards the end of the meeting, her body language suggests that she wanted me to stay in the room. And there were two other perspectives in the room, both of which ended up going to Berkeley. One ended up working for Thomas Malmoney, and the other ended up working for Hartwig, I think. I ended up leaving with them. I was scared of that woman. As far as I was concerned, if we were just left in a room together, it would be her word against mine. And I picked up on a trend. Like, based off the trend that I picked up, most likely if she were to say something that I did something like, I don't know, did something inappropriate, like, they probably would have believed it straight up. So I was like, you know what, let's just avoid that potential problem. So I ended up leaving, and time marches on again. And fast forward to the poster session. So there was a poster session where current grad students and postdocs talked about the research to the prospective students or whatever. And I remember standing in front of the Doherty poster, and all of a sudden I hear this commotion to my right. And next thing I know, I'm being told that I don't fucking belong here because I'm a drug dealer. Disclaimer. I am not a drug dealer. I have no history of drugs, either doing it or selling it or being around it. I'm not entirely sure why the people that were calling me a drug dealer thought I was a drug dealer, but never was a drug dealer. And what makes matters worse is that these aren't prospective students or grad students or professors of chemistry that are doing this. These are the two African American gentlemen that were serving drinks to everyone. Let that sink in. I got told that I didn't belong in a PhD program at Caltech by two black dudes serving drinks. Now, you would think that if they're, just servants, their formal education wouldn't be too extensive, but yet they feel as though they could tell me where I do and do not belong. And Reisman was just standing right there looking at me. Why? I have no idea. I'll never understand that, but I know by that point, I was pretty much like, fuck Caltech. Yeah. And there was one other weird thing that I didn't quite like. I was at the FUGRU poster, and there was a current grad student named Trisha talking to Greg Fu. And Greg Fu told her to flirt with me. And I don't think he heard me, but I knew from then on I wasn't going to take it seriously. I mean, adding in the fact that I already knew who her boyfriend is, I really just wasn't going to pay her any attention. Maybe, entertain a thought or, well, not entertain a thought, but there's a word for this. Fuck it, I can't think of it right now. So, yeah. Fuck Caltech. I figured by the time I got back to U of I could just run out the clock. I mean, I only had a month and a half left until graduation. So that's what I did. The whole family came down for graduation. After that, I just packed up and slept for 2 weeks. I was just happy to be done. Happy to be done. Happy to be away from all those chemists. Happy not to have to do anything for anyone for any reason. My senior year, I also applied for jobs. I got emails from 2 companies saying that they were interested in interviewing me. They were Eli Lilly and Procter & Gamble. And I had the interview for Procter and Gamble. I set up for the 9 o'clock interview. That was the second one. They had one interviewee for an hour each. So there was one slot above me that was taken by Joseph Cullen, who was a guy that, I knew. I met him. I even had class with him and talked with him on occasion. So, Eli Lilly. Better yet, the interview day was for Eli Lilly. I remember coming in a little bit early. I think maybe just around 8 a.m. I was already in Noise Lab just waiting. The reason why I signed up for the 9 a.m. one is because I didn't want to oversleep and miss my opportunity to set up an interview. So, I see Joseph Cullen walk in. He does his thing. And then as, my time slot comes up, I walk towards the office where they're holding their interviews. And I'm listening in through the door to what's going on inside Joseph Cullen's interview. And it sounded like he called me a drug dealer. I swear to God I heard that. And then he leaves. And as he's leaving, I give him thumbs up. And he's laughing as he's leaving. I took that as an ominous sign. Okay, maybe I did hear what I think I heard. Fuck. Why would he do this? And then I see the guy walk out the room where Joseph Cullen was, walk into the other room where I was going to be interviewed. And I heard the words, D-boy. He called me a fucking D-boy. Well, this is not going to be good, right? And it wasn't. It was horrible. When I sat down for the interview, there was one guy who seemed to want to find anything that could potentially be wrong with me. And I ended up not getting a job. Great. The other interview was with Procter and Gamble. And I got an email saying that they were really excited to interview me. And then I got excited and told people about it, which in retrospect was a horrible idea. One of which was Joseph Cullen. So, after I told Joseph Cullen this, the person who was planning to email me from Procter & Gamble pulled out of the interview. Yeah, these are the people I'm dealing with for the U of I. And I had a feeling that it was his fault, at least for the Procter & Gamble interview. For Eli Lilly, I am pretty sure that he screwed me over. And then during the graduation ceremony, when everybody was at the reception after the thing happened, he actually admitted it. And he tried to validate his actions, saying that it was okay because I got into grad schools like Caltech. No, it's not fucking okay. I can honestly say that Joseph Cullen is one of those people that I never have to fucking talk to or see ever again.